Hey guys, Dan, the craft beer man, back at it again with a new brew review for you today. Happy Canada Day. All right, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're having a good time with your friends and family, but slowly expanding your social circle, not being too dangerous, not being too crazy. As you can see, I'm wearing my Canada garb. Uh, Kind of wet and rainy out today. It's not super fun. But hey, I'm enjoying my unique Canadian Scottish collaboration beer. Who is this? One of my favorite breweries out of Scotland, Innis and Gunn. So this particular beer is very unique. It is a rye whiskey cask beer. What does that mean? It is a barrel-aged ruby Scotch ale. Innis and Gunn established 2003 out of Edinburgh, Scotland. This particular beer is 8% ABV. All right, so a little bit about Innis and Gunn. Founder and brewmaster Dougal Gunn Sharp was asked to create beer that would mature in bourbon barrels. Now this would create a sweet and malty flavor. Originally, this beer was going to be thrown out, and the barrels were going to be used for aging spirits. Dougal had the brainwave that this beer was actually getting better in the barrel. And you know what? He was right. And basically, he was onto something genius. And this was the creation of Innis and Gunn. Innis and Gunn was born. So, with their growing range of beers from their original bourbon barrel Scotch ale to their award-winning lager, which became the fastest-growing lager in Scotland, to their hoppy IPAs, to their frankincense golden ale, which I did 2 years ago, which was pretty delicious. Had that about Christmas time. I also had their blood red sky rum barrel red beer, which was also delicious. What else have I had? I had their Irish whiskey barrel aged stout, phenomenal. Had that about March. Also had their maple thistle rye beer made with actual Scottish thistle and Canadian maple syrup. I had that in Edmonton last year, I believe. Um, and of course, their Vanishing Point 1, 2, and 3. Now, these are bourbon barrel aged Russian Imperial Stouts, 1, 2, and 3. Number one was aged 180 days, and then two, I believe they doubled that, and then three was over 400 days, I believe. So very similar, but also very different beers. I've had so many beers by them; they're absolutely phenomenal. I highly recommend you try them out. They're heavier beer. They're usually well, not always the case, but their sort of flagship beer, their bourbon barrel aged a Scotch ale is phenomenal. It is an amazing beer. It's complex, it's heavy, it's malty, it's sweet, and I think you'd really like it. I can't say enough about Innis and Gunn. Now, this particular beer is a limited edition, so this is part of their Atlas series. I had their Raspberry Latitude beer, Latitude Longitude, a couple years ago, and it was also part of their Atlas series. So, their beer doesn't normally come in containers like this, but you know, and also too, when it's a limited series, you might be paying a little bit more from them, but it's totally worth it. I got this at the government liquor store, and it really wasn't that much. Yeah, it was maybe between 10 and 12 bucks, but it's a nice beer. It's coming from Scotland. So, anyways, this is part of their Atlas series. So these are beers inspired by barrel aging from across the globe, and usually it's a collaboration. All right, so this particular beer celebrates Canada and Scotland and its long-standing history and connection. This beer was specifically designed for Canada Day, so let's read the brewer's notes on this. Canada and Scotland have enjoyed a very special bond for over 150 years. A shared history built on the progressive values of inclusive inclusivity. No, I haven't been drinking that much. Tolerance and humility. Ocean crossing ties that bind. In celebration of Canada Day 2020, we have a beer beyond the combination of grains, hop, yeast, and water. one that instead represents a meeting of two countries whose rich and bountiful resources have helped to shape world class spirits enjoyed beyond their shores. Matured in Canada's finest rye whiskey casks, this beer embodies our unique connection in a bottle. The flavor from the oak barrels transforms the beer, creating a perfectly balanced blend of rye whiskey's spicy sweetness and Scottish malt's rich earthiness. Two countries intertwined, one outstanding beer that's as irresistible as the friendship that underpins it. All right, so this is a rye whiskey cask, a barrel aged ruby, a Scotch ale from Innis and Gunn out of Scotland, Edinburgh, Scotland, 8% ABV. Let's give it a go. Cheers. I dig it. I like it. Definitely, definitely getting the rye. It's very different than bourbon. It's a lot more lighter. It's a little bit more grainy than bourbon. Bourbon is a lot more um, malt or sweet. This is more of a delicate sweetness to it. If you're a rye drinker, you're going to pick up the rye right away. So I'm getting caramel. It's sweet. I'm getting wood. I'm getting oak. I'm getting vanilla. Yeah, definitely getting that barrel, and it's a little bit spicy to it. This is beautiful. This is just a beautiful beer. It's a lot lighter than their other Scotch ales or their imperial stouts. Um, I don't know. It's very hard to describe. It's got that grain. It's got that malt. It's got that rye. But it's so much lighter in body. So this actually makes this a really nice spring and summer beer because you don't want something too thick and too heavy in the summertime. It's not really all that refreshing, but this does make me think of rye. Like a rye and coke or something like that. But it's not a rye and coke, so don't think of it that way. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 for me. Don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. Use the government liquor store app. Use the website, and you should be able to find this. I picked this up at Highgate Mall, the government liquor store there in Burnaby. I think it was about like 10, $12. Not a huge step, but it is a unique beer. It is nice. So it's a limited series, so you can be paying a little bit more. It's coming from Scotland, so hey, it's a collaboration with Canada, so it's worth it. So happy Canada Day. All right, so 4 out of 5 for me. Don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. What would I pair this with? Gamey meats, pheasant, quail, pork, smoked salmon, lamb, grilled foods, that type of thing. I forgot to mention. So, what's the difference between a Scotch ale and a Scottish ale? Okay, so generally, Scottish ales are lower in ABV, alcohol by volume, and a Scotch ale, because it has either Scotch directly in it or it's been aged in Scotch barrels, it's going to have a higher ABV, right? So more alcohol, more malt, more flavor. All right, so that's basically it from me. If you do see Innis and Gunn, especially if you see their bourbon barrel aged Scotch ale, it's a fantastic beer. You can usually get that in a 6 pack. But if you see something unique by Innis and Gunn, it might be a little bit pricier. I say get it, try it. I've been so impressed by so many of their products that it's just worth the extra couple bucks. And you know you got to step out of your comfort zone. So anyways, guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. Be smart, protect yourself, protect your family. Use masks when you go out. if you want to have gloves or hand sanitizer with you, fantastic. But just protect yourself, and slowly expand your social circle, but don't go nuts. And let's get a lid on this whole COVID-19 thing. So, but please be well, please be safe this summer, and I appreciate your comments and your feedback. And yeah, if you think of a great beer, if you've had a great beer, please let me know. Spread the word. Just trying to grow my followers. Why? I don't get anything out of this. I don't make money off of this, but I love the beer knowledge and sharing it with you. And so please let me know what you guys are drinking, and use Untapped. It's such a great app, and I think you guys will enjoy it. Look me up. I think I'm Disco Dan 15 on there. Um, but otherwise, tell your friends, because I'm on YouTube, and yeah, I wanna hear what you guys are drinking, and I'd love to do a review on it, or maybe interview you guys. Switching some things up here in 2020, so you might see me on some different platforms, doing some beer reviews, and maybe visiting some breweries, and maybe interviewing some staff or brewmasters. So stay tuned. There's going to be some cool changes, and just working towards my Cicerone certification. And it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. So remember, guys, keep calm and drink craft beer. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Great beer. Have a good night.